Finland. Senate Minority Leader Lou DeLuca is still leading the Senate despite pleading guilty to a conspiracy charge last week in a Waterbury courtroom. The charges stem from a meeting with an alleged mobster in 2005. The longtime Republican says he was denied help from the police while trying to protect his granddaughter. So as Fox 61's Sarah Cody reports, he decided to take matters into his own hands.
After arriving at court in the pouring rain, DeLuca sat stoically inside for about an hour, accompanied by his wife of more than 50 years.
My main concern has always been and will continue to be about my family. And that's what this is all about, and I am still going to be concerned about my family.
Protecting his family is what DeLuca says landed him in court. He pleaded guilty to conspiring with Danbury trash hauler James Galante, an accused mobster, to threaten his granddaughter's boyfriend, who he thought was abusive.
No one threatened me, and if anybody ever wants to come to my house, they should come. Bring a lot of bullets, though.
He wouldn't give his name, but this man says he was the boyfriend. He is now married to DeLuca's granddaughter and says he supports the plea agreement.
I was beating my wife. We got married after 3 weeks, and I'm 15 years older than her. That's all it was about. Lou's a good guy. I like him. And he was just giving misinformation by his daughter, that's all.
When the senator, who is 73 years old, was asked in court if he wanted to make a statement, it took him a moment to speak. And when he did, he was very choked up and emotional. DeLuca said, "I'm ashamed and sorry for my actions. I take full responsibility." While he'll avoid prison time, this episode may not be over.
The federal investigation into Mr. Galante is continuing. The federal authorities have advised me that Mr. DeLuca could possibly be a witness.
But for now, DeLuca is returning to business as usual.
This had nothing to do with politics.
And again, that was Sarah Cody reporting DeLuca received a 6-month suspended sentence and must pay a $2,000 fine. And joining me now to talk more about the senator and his future are WNPR Capitol reporter Av Harris, reporter Paul Hughes from the Republican American in Waterbury, and Christine Stewart from ConnecticutNewsJunkie.com or CTNewsJunkie.com. Thanks again for being here. We appreciate your time. I thought it was interesting at a recent press conference, Senator DeLuca said when he was talking about the federal investigation, he said at the end they went after what they thought was a really bad guy, and what they got was a mad grandfather, talking about the $5,000 bribe that he was offered and turned down. Paul, at a press conference after he was in court, you repeatedly asked him, why was he meeting with an alleged mobster in the first place? Were you happy with the answer you got?
I don't think he really explained himself in terms of that answer. We didn't quite get why he turned to this guy. He disputed an allegation in the arrest warrant that he was quoted as stating that he knew Mr. Galante was on the fringes of organized crime. Today, he said otherwise.
From what I understand, reporters who covered Danbury said Galante, now he's an alleged mobster, but it was kind of like saying, like, you didn't know Tony Soprano had anything to do with the mob. I mean, he's known in that area for alleged activities.
This is what's in the 117 count federal racketeering indictment says that Mr. Galante's trash hauling empire, it's big business. It's a $50 million empire in Western Connecticut that's basically controlled and there's a lot of influence exerted by the Genovese crime family in New York, and they've already had one guilty plea. Matthew Iannello, the horse, as he's called, has already pleaded guilty, and so this is an ongoing prosecution. But Paul raised a very good question. Why, as the Senate Minority Leader, if somebody surely has knowledge of state police and of the workings of state government, there are steps that could have been taken.
Actually, because we have Senator Edith Craig, a Democrat in the Senate, who is one of the few people actually calling on DeLuca to resign. Let's go to tape, hear what she has to say, and then we're all going to respond to the senator's future. Let's go to tape.
The fact that he said to this alleged mobster, I will do anything I can in my power to help you if you need something. You know, Senator DeLuca holds a very prestigious position as Senate Minority Leader. He could have gone to the state police, to the Department of Public Safety, and asked for help. But instead, he goes to this alleged mobster.
Now, DeLuca said he did go to Waterbury Police for help. They turned him down. However, that's being disputed by the chief. But let's move on to Senator DeLuca's political future. Christine, you and I have been at the Capitol at the end of the session. This definitely was a distraction. People asking DeLuca repeatedly, will he resign from, not from office, or at least from his leadership role?
Right.
Do you think he can survive this?
You know, he said again on Thursday that he will not resign and that he's going to be reassessing the situation once everything calms down. And I'm not sure there's enough people calling for his resignation to make something like that happen.
Paul, Ob?
Well, it's seriously calls into question his judgment, and it could possibly compromise him as a leader.
Yeah, and I don't think that, I think Edith Prague was the first one to call for him to resign. Chris Caruso, the Democrat, is sort of famously going after corrupt politicians. He's called on Senator DeLuca to resign. But we haven't seen this. The Democratic leaders, curiously, haven't made that call. They said, well, it's up for Senator DeLuca to make up his mind on that himself.
Senator DeLuca says that he is getting a lot of support from people all over the state. Jody Rell, however, is not really saying either way. She says a resignation would be something up to DeLuca. Let's go to tape, though, when she was asked about whether or not there should be an investigation in the state legislature. Let's go to tape.
Do you feel that there should be any action taken or hearings after the session, the special session is over?
That will be up to the legislature to determine. The senator has indicated that this was a personal family matter. He has gone through the court system and the process that is available to him. If the legislature wishes to do something, that will be entirely up to them.
Are we hearing anything about any type of hearing at the Capitol?
I don't think we've heard anything about any type of hearing, but I think that it will be a snowball effect that more and more people are going to get on the resignation bandwagon.
And maybe, Paul and you can explain, and Christine as well, that the investigation would center around the fact that Senator DeLuca said he would do anything in his power while his office wasn't for sale. He would do what he could. Fill that in, Paul.
Well, he said he would do what he could to help this gentleman's trash business. But today, he basically said, look, a federal agent offered me a bribe. I didn't know who this guy was. He was a tough-looking character. I just wanted to get away from the guy. So I told him no, and I said a lot of stupid things just so I could get out of there.
Is that enough?
Well, and the other thing is that Senator DeLuca helped his own legal case by pleading guilty to this misdemeanor state charge of conspiracy to commit threatening. He doesn't have to face any legal jeopardy on the federal government, and he avoided that. I think the issue, though, rests on that why did he go to meet with this person, and knowing James Galante's reputation, what Kevin O'Connor said, the U.S. attorney, was it could not have been a verbal altercation. If James Galante sends somebody to meet with somebody to help you out, there could be physical violence involved. Why didn't he use the law?
It's really, I think it's really going to come down to what the other Republican senators are hearing from their voters. Sure, there's an outpouring of support for Senator DeLuca, and I think there's a lot of people who feel sorry for him. But the bottom line is he turned to a man who's being accused of extortion, racketeering, threatening to secure his trash business, and what the other senators are hearing back home could contribute to their decisions to either replace him or call for his resignation.
And Christian, I'm going to give you the final 10 seconds here, but I believe Senator DeLuca said he's going to, of course, now that the session's over, well, almost over, we'll get to that next segment, that he's going to wait to hear what his constituents say, and he's going to caucus with his own party and talk to them as well. So he hasn't made a decision yet, as from what I understand, about stepping down, at least from his role.
I don't know if that's going to be good enough. There could be an outcry for him to step down at some point. Yes, there's sympathy now, but who knows what's going to happen in the next week.
All right. Thanks a lot, guy. We covered a lot of ground. Appreciate it.